Today, I am sharing with you one of my favorite cakes. Actually, the first cake that I ever made, and that is a orange and chocolate marble cake. And I've done this in a bundt pan, but you wouldn't necessarily have to. You could do layers if you wanted. But it is tender and moist, and it's got just a touch of bourbon in it to really cause that chocolate to bloom. It's delicious, it's easy, and it's probably one of the most popular desserts that you can make because it's got all the things. It's got the chocolate, it's got the orange, and it's got the really moist, tender cake. So y'all watch the video on how to do it, and I'm just going to be right here with my cake. So I'm gonna grease the pan, and it's much easier with a pan like this if you go ahead and spray it with non-stick spray, with baker spray. You get into all of the cracks and creases, especially with a pan like this. It's got a lot of detail on it. You don't want any of that detail coming off when you remove the cake from the pan. And now we're gonna need half a cup, roughly, give or take, of finely crushed graham cracker crumbs to dust the pan with. This is going to give the cake a really nice crust and a really nice flavor. So I'm going to break those up in the blender. I'm going to take the crumbs and put them in the pan, and then I'm just going to move the pan around and give the crumbs a chance to adhere to all of it. All right, that looks like it's pretty well covered, so we're going to set this aside and go on to the next thing. All right, I've got 2 cups of flour measured into this bowl, just lightly measured. And now we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. And I can't find my 1.5 measure, so there's 1 teaspoon. And there's a half. And now we're going to measure a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And you always want to check your baking soda. Put it in with a little, in another cup with some vinegar or something, just to make sure it's still strong, because it doesn't last forever. So if you don't bake a lot, it could start to weaken on you, and then your cakes and your breads and things won't rise as well. So once we get those in there, we're going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I use kosher salt. The kosher salt, the crystals are a little bigger than with regular table salt. So if you're using regular table salt, then use maybe just a 1/3 of a teaspoon or a 1/4 of a teaspoon. So I'm going to set the dry ingredients aside, and we're going to work on our wet ingredients. All right, so the first thing that's going to go in is 1/2 cup of butter that's been softened to room temperature. And I'm just going to turn this on and get the butter good and soft. One of the tricks that I use when the house is cold and my eggs aren't coming to room temperature is I put them in hot water in a bowl and just let them sit. Not like boiling water, because I don't want them to become soft boiled, but just warm, a little hotter than bath water, I guess, about 115 to 120. And I just let them sit in there while I'm doing everything else. And by the time I'm ready to use them, they've come to a nice warm room temperature and they're ready to go. And you're still going to want to stop every once in a while and make sure that that comes up off of the bottom. Now, I'm not ready to put that second egg in there yet because this isn't mixed in all the way. Going to do is put in 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla, and If you put in a little more than that, that's fine. Most of the time, I put in closer to 2 just because I like a generous amount of vanilla, but you can do it whatever way you want. 1.5 is about right. 2 if you like a generous amount of vanilla. And we're gonna fold in 3/4 of a cup of sour cream, full fat sour cream. Don't get low fat or no fat sour cream because it won't work nearly as well. We're just gonna fold that in. All right, now we're going to take our orange and just put a little orange zest in here. All right, we've got our orange zest mixed in there. Now it's time to put in the dry ingredients. And we're just gonna fold it in. You don't wanna mix it too much because it's gonna make your cake dry and tough, and nobody wants a tough cake. Folding is easy. It's under and over, go under and push it over. We're gonna take out 1.5 cups of the batter. This is a 1.5 cup measure. And it doesn't have to be exact. If you have, you take out a little bit more, you take out a little bit less, it's no big. But right about 1.5 cups. And put it in another bowl. So while I'm melting the chocolate, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of bourbon to the batter. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. You could use orange juice or, well, I guess since we put orange zest in the batter, then probably orange juice would be good to use. You could use water if you wanted to, a little bit of milk, if you don't want to use the bourbon. But the bourbon gives it a really unique flavor that goes with the chocolate really well. All right, the chocolate is melted and ready. I'm just gonna let that cool down a little bit before I add it to the batter because we don't want it cooking the batter before we're ready. While I'm waiting, I'm gonna add a tablespoon of cocoa powder to my chocolate, what's gonna be my chocolate batter, because I want it to be a little fudgier than it would be with just the chocolate. So I'm gonna add this in there. And this is the batter that we put the bourbon into. And now our chocolate is at room temperature and we're gonna add it. Now we have both batters. And this is the part where I should have put the orange zest into this batter so that it wasn't in both batters, but I messed up. So when you do your cake, you're not gonna mess up. You're gonna put the orange zest into the white batter and leave it out of the chocolate batter. So now all we have to do is put it into our bundt pan. And we wanna do that in such a way that, that we maintain the marble effect of it. So a good way to start that is to just start by spoonfuls. Once you get your batter all in there, you're going to take a butter knife and you're just going to run it very gently around and kind of fold it over. You don't want to mix up the colors too much because it'll just turn into mud, but just swirl it through, go all the way to the bottom if you can, and that's what's going to make the marbling effect. There, and that should be plenty. One thing my dad taught me to do was whenever you, before you put a pan in the oven, especially like a pound cake or bundt cake like this, give it a good pop on the counter. Just drop it, hope that you didn't break the marble, and then into the oven it goes. Okay, y'all, the cake is done. It's cooled, and it's got this beautiful pattern on it from the pan that I used. And while I'd be tempted to put a chocolate glaze on this, I don't want to mess up the pattern. So what I'm going to do is just use a dusting of powdered sugar, which will just make the pattern of the cake stand out, and it'll be really pretty. All right, y'all, the proof is in the pudding, right? So let's see if this cake is as good as it looks. It's moist, it's tender, it's fine crumbed. It's delicious, so delicious. This cake is going to be one of your favorite recipes, I promise, because it's easy, it's so simple, and it's so good. So I hope you enjoy it. I hope you try it. Let me know if you do. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to the email. And love y'all, and I'll see you next time.